So Saturday Night is a new biographical comedy drama directed by Jason Reitman in which it tells the origin story of the chaotic 90-minute events leading up to the premiere episode of Saturday Night Live. Before I continue on with today's video, I just wanted to say welcome to my channel, everybody. For those of you who are coming by my channel for the very first time, be sure to hit the subscribe button to miss a future video. It's a future review, a reaction, a top 5, whatever I've coming your way, and join me on my journey to 10K subscribers and beyond, because believe me when I say this, guys, you are not gonna miss the cool shit I have coming your way. And for those of you coming back to my channel, welcome back, everybody. You have no idea how happy I'm to see your faces once again. And let's start our conversation below, by the way. What did you guys think of Saturday Night? Have you seen the film? Are you excited about it? What did you think of the movie? Let me know below. Alrighty, guys, so let's get into Saturday Night.
Excellent!
As you all know, Saturday Night for me was in my top 5 most anticipated movies for the rest of the year, and that was because of 2 particular reasons. One of which being that I'm a massive fan of Jason Reitman as a filmmaker. I mean, Jason Reitman to me is one of the best filmmakers working today, but the other reason is that I am actually a big fan of Saturday Night Live, even though I'm not going to guys want to say this. To me, as of recently, I feel that Saturday Night Live isn't really what it used to be. I mean, I'll be honest with you guys when I say this. I stopped watching Saturday Night Live like every single week for really quite some time now, as really the last time I rewatched it, or I just watched it every single Saturday, was when, I think it was in the late 2000s, like around 2012, and that, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that was when Seth Meyers was lead writer. There are some sketches that I'll tune into every now and again that are really, really funny, but otherwise, I just don't think that Saturday Night Live is what it used to be, because if you ask me, when it premiered, the 80s, the 90s, and even the 2000s cast, that was to me when Saturday Night Live was at its peak. I mean, the 80s, oh my god. Now I'm a big fan of SNL and a big fan of Jason Reitman, and that trailer sold me. I mean, just the idea and the conception of the idea of making a film that tells the chaos of making what was really a revolution of television back in those days, especially in the 70s, just a variety show of something that even the creators had no idea what the show was until it went to air. That is just one of the prime examples of an underdog story where a bunch of young people with rising comedians, like, for example, Dan Aykroyd, Chevy Chase, John Belushi, were all together in the same area trying to make something special for audiences at home to enjoy. And guys, I am very happy to say that, man, I had a great time with Saturday Night. Like, this movie was a chaotic blast. Every performance in this movie is terrific. As a matter of fact, they're all great. They're spectacular. There is not a single sore thumb in this huge ensemble cast, and I'm not gonna remember everybody off the top of my head because, believe me, there's a lot of actors to name, so I'm just gonna name everybody that I'm seeing on the Wikipedia cast, so give me 1 second because there's a lot to name here. Gabrielle LaBelle, Rachel Sennott, Corey Michael Smith, Ella Hunt, Dylan O'Brien, Emily Farron, Matt Wood, Lamorne Morris, I apologize if I butchered your name, sir, Tim Matula, Finn Wolfhard, Nicholas Braun, Cooper Hoffman, J.K. Simmons, Matthew Rice, Willem Dafoe. This is a huge freaking cast, guys, and I'm sorry, by the way, to anybody who I did not name, but oh, Paul Russ. Gabrielle LaBelle is great as Lauren Michaels, and can I say this right now? What a jump it is for him to go from playing Steven Spielberg, you know, one of the greatest, if not the greatest director of all time, to the creator of SNL. Like, what a freaking leap that is. What a leap it is for a guy that went from his debut performance, as far as I'm aware, to the creator of SNL. I mean, Gabrielle LaBelle is definitely going places. Rachel Sennott, I also thought was great, along with Ella Hunt, Paul Rust. Nicholas Braun has some moments that had me laughing. I was wheezing. I was laughing so hard. Every performance in this movie was great. There are 2 that I gotta talk about here, guys. One of which being Corey Michael Smith as Chevy Chase. Oh my god, did he absolutely crush it. As we are fully well aware, guys, Chevy Chase, while he is very funny, in real life he's kind of known as, well, as an asshole. Absolutely nailed his mannerisms, his body language, his comedy. I mean, Corey Michael Smith was an absolute genius in this movie, and there were a couple of times where I was just going like, that's Chevy freaking Chase, holy crap. But one particular actor stood out amongst everybody in the cast, and that was Dylan O'Brien as Dan Aykroyd. I never thought that in a million years that Dylan O'Brien would be cast as Dan Aykroyd. But oh my god, there are shots in this movie where I thought I was looking at Dan Aykroyd, like a 20-year-old version, or a Dan Aykroyd in his 20s. Everything that Dylan O'Brien brought to Dan Aykroyd, at least, his interpretation of Dan Aykroyd, I imagine, with all the research that he did, I'm really hoping that Dylan O'Brien gets some awards consideration for his performance here, because he is just that good as Dan Aykroyd. Like, I'm telling you all, he's phenomenal in this movie. I absolutely loved how Jason Reitman directed this movie, because here's the thing, I can only imagine the prep work that Jason Reitman went through in terms of blocking, staging every single sequence. I can only imagine that Jason Reitman only wanted to capture the chaos, the kinetic energy of what it probably felt like in that time to just hustle and get together when everything was against all these people to try their best to make it live. And I thought that Jason Reitman did such a phenomenal job of capturing the feeling and the energy of what it could probably be like, of not just getting something as revolutionary as Saturday Night on air, on live for the first time, but just capturing the production of a chaotic set. Because believe me guys, when I say this, film sets, yes, they can be actually that chaotic. I absolutely loved how this movie was shot. Now, if I'm not mistaken, and please correct me if I'm wrong, guys, I believe this movie was shot on actual 16mm, or they did some type of post-processing to make this movie look like it was shot on that film green. But man, whatever Jason Reitman and the cinematographer did, they made magic happen, because seeing this movie in the lens, in that film green, in that film stock, just made this film feel like a time capsule. This movie is so well shot, and I will not be surprised if it does get some awards consideration. As a film fan, made me feel really, really giddy inside, to say the least. Not only is this movie very energetic, but this movie is also, oh my god, is it hilarious. There are certain jokes that happen in this movie that came out of left field. I was laughing so freaking hard at times, I was almost wheezing. There are some things that happened in this movie that I was genuinely not expecting.
Well, that's just fucking great!
This was a movie that I had a heck of a time with, but is it one of my favorite films of the year? Unfortunately, no. This particular issue isn't really an issue that I have with the movie, as it's more of a thing that I wish the movie did. I wish this movie was more of like a real-time watch of seeing what happened leading up. Like, for example, maybe a couple of times for this movie they could have done a one-shot take, possibly, like you're actually watching it in real time. I don't know if that could have happened, because I imagine the blocking and the technical and the logistics of making that happen would have probably been an absolute nightmare. I only wish that what they did in terms of filming the story happening, I do wish they tried to do something that would have really pulled this in and really would have upped the stake. The runtime of this movie is about, what, an hour 40, maybe like an hour 45, somewhere around there. There are times this movie definitely does feel longer than that. Like, it does honestly feel maybe a little closer than 2 hours. Although, is there a bit that would have cut out? Probably not. I mean, there's nothing I could think of. There are times the movie definitely feels longer than an hour and 40 minutes.
And here we go.
So overall, Saturday Night is chaotic, it's kinetic, and man, I had a great time with this movie. Everybody who they cast as their SNL counterparts, the real life people in this movie, everybody did a great job in this movie. All in all, I'm gonna give Saturday Night a 4.25 out of 5. If you happen to be a fan of Saturday Night Live or a fan of Jason Reitman, check out this movie, guys. It is a heck of a ride, to say the least. I hope you enjoyed my review of Saturday Night. If so, please hit the like button, or if you dislike the review, hit the dislike button. If you guys want to see my previous 2 reviews, please click right there or right there. And of course, until my next review or video goes live, I will see you all next time.